Hello everyone, in this video we're going to practice on a sci-fi cylinder again, and this is a good way to refresh what we've known or you've known about the add-on so far. Okay, so first off I'm going to show you that the UI changes for the next update is almost done. So I did it for all these geometry based operators up to from random loop extrude up to random cables, and I need to just do it for the flanges, coupling, spinal screws, cloth, plate insets, and quick displacement. So I think this will, I can update by tomorrow or something. I still need to check if there's a couple of bugs, but just to be safe, I will keep the old copy of the add-on for probably just a week and then delete it afterwards if there's no bugs detected or experienced by you or me. Okay, so also tomorrow is winter sale, so be sure to grab all of my products if you can. Blender Market sale in Blender Market. Okay, so we're going to start with a cylinder. Let's give it more vertices like 64 and then scale it. Okay, I'm going to find the negative x and y. So this is the negative x and y, this side here. This side. So I always just mirror on this side and auto mirror. By the way, most of this operators auto mirror, extract and draw. There might be some differences, but you can also find it in random flow in the mesh. Auto mirror, extract and apply mesh. With extract faces just being used for random flow as to create like proximity, not proximity, proxy faces in order for you to create or make randomization without actually touching the um, geometry of the source mesh, and it's quite useful for random panels especially, and using the merge panel to create a destructive copy of the random operation. Okay, so let's auto mirror to X, Y, and Z. Okay, and let's just design the base. So mostly quads because the randomization only works with quad faces. It can also work with tries, but the randomization pattern, of course, is affected by topology. So being quads and being like mostly evenly sized quads is really great. So in this area, I'm going to create a cloth. I use the panel cloth operator to create a cloth detail, while the rest will be using just the random mesh or randomized mesh. So extruding and then scaling down the middle, and then we have to make sure that this clips. That often result with insetting when you have these faces that are near the symmetry line, and when you kind of inset like that, then sometimes the symmetry line can overlap the um, symmetry axis or center line. Okay, so I'm going to create something like this, but it's going to be, or like this, but it's going to be a separate geometry. So there's, so we don't do this. I can do this like that, but it's going to have this spaces here that have this direction. I want to avoid that in the randomization. So instead of creating it as a part of the work mesh, we're going to just basically create it using creative flow, draw faces, and go to press 4. That of course gets you to the draw shape strips, and you can just draw that. I'm pressing shift to align it to the 45-degree angle. As you can see in the UI, the snap angle is 45 degrees. You can change that using the left, right, left arrow and right arrow. You can see the hotkeys in the right side. So let's just stay to 45 degrees, and let's widen the strips. That is, what is the widen for this? A strip offset is what it's called here. So it's Control A, D. And then you can combine Control with Shift and then press A and B to um, make the increments much lower. Okay, it's just like that. And we're going to activate the mirror axis in the Z and press space to confirm. We are now in the second part of the model operation, and we have to, and we can control the solidified thickness here by control mouse drag. Again, plus shift is used to slow down or lower the increments. So solidify thickness, press control shift to have better control, and then press space to confirm. Okay, I want to turn this into a real geometry, but in this state you can still edit it using the modifier stack, or by selecting it you can go to draw modifiers. So the draw modifiers here being the mirror and solidify. So solidify thickness and offset. You can do that. Okay. So, but since the offset goes right here and here, and to affect this side, we can just use slide. So grab is G, and when you press that twice in quick succession, you activate the edge slide when you have the edge selected. Then if you want to go past this, it's limited to where it's originally placed. So, or the edges position is limited to where it is originally placed. So if you want to go past that, press Alt and then just drag like that. Okay, probably too much. And I want to apply the draw modifiers like that. So this is now a real mesh, and then I can go to extras and then fast circle array. So something like 6 is good. Okay, and oh, and this area here, I made sure that these are mostly evenly sized and spaced. Not spaced, evenly sized faces. So like it's better with run panel cloth. But first, I'm going to duplicate this, Shift D, Alt S, and then P to separate. Probably make it closer. I want to make this as a collision object to the cloth, and Control F S to create thickness. But by doing that, using Control F and then pressing S, so that's solidify in edit mode. Doing that with compared to the modifier is that it creates faces on the symmetry line. So make sure to delete this. Okay, I think we need to clip this as well. There we go. So the clipping only happens if you have it toggled in the mirror modifier and you have it merged. So when you apply the modifier, the clipped vertices in the center line is also automatically merged. And then our base mesh top and bottom side. So I am, instead of scaling, I'm undoing because once you can't really correctly scale if you have the mirror modifier because the pivot point using the median pivot point is right here. So if you scale this, it's going to do that. So you need to kind of pick a center line and cursor to selected. Set the pivot point to the 3D cursor, and then you can do that. However, this works because the 3D cursor is level with this face, or they are on the same plane. However, if I pick one that's not on the same plane, it's going to scale towards the, as you can see, it's now conical, and it's scaling towards the 3D cursor. So the only way to really do that um, quickly is apply the mesh. If you don't have any modifiers there, just the mirror, and then you can just, since this is what you're just going to do, you can just apply the mirror modifier, and then once you're finished doing that, you can reapply the mirror modifier. So X, Y, and Z. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to create another one. 7 is the view. Here I'm going to create an intersect object, which is going to be a cube. So, oops, select this and then add intersect object. So this copies the oh this copies the what do you call it? The origin point of the source object. So this is our source object from before we selected the verts as the creation point of the cube. So it makes it much easier to mirror this because, and it will align with the work mesh because it inherited its origin point. Okay. So with this one, I'm going to auto mirror this on radial array, something like 8. Then create another inset here and like that. Okay. Shade auto smooth, controls. I want to save this first. Cylinder uh, practice. Save. Okay. Now we can just play around with the randomization. But first I need to add additional edge loops. for the randomization. Okay. And you can just highlight these faces and extract fast circle array and just reestablish the array just like that. Okay. And add additional faces here for the randomization, but not too much. Okay. And yeah, so this is the add-on pre-select using Shift F. You can download it in my Patreon for free. And it's a support tool for random flow. I'm going to use random panels. I have auxiliary on and use this and then toggle on even offset. To make the panel, to make the islands bigger, you need to increase the panel size. So let's do something that's more relaxed. Actually, let's toggle on copy all modifiers so it copies the smooth by angle. There we go. And just going to play around with a little bit more depth. So as you can see, I relocated the panel seed parameters so it's much easier to access them and play around with them. And this is true for most of the operators. So I think we can, okay, this one. Yeah, I think we can deal with this one. And then stack another layer of detail onto these faces. Oops, not that. Obviously, if you're going to use this, you need to, and you need to choose between the ratio of using the add-on. So uh, your work mesh may be, I mean, the ratio between the manually modeled details versus the randomized details. So you need to choose between that. All I'm showing you is, of course, how to use the operators. But when you practice this, you need to choose between the ratio between manually modeled details or and the randomized detail. So this all else if all else fails, I can just use panel cut for manual cutting. I think we can go with this and just put in panel cut bevel and boundary edges and then width. There we go. Oops, Shift F and random panels. So the thickness, we need to edit, edit that. Okay, that looks good. And let me see. Maybe add something here. So I'm not subdividing because the amount of faces is already enough for me to, or for the operators for to play around and result with the randomized detail. And then here, just select the spaces and randomize thickness. Okay, so with this part here, just select one and again randomize. So it doesn't have the mirror for the. I need to mirror this in the actually. Let me try this. Control I, then delete the rest of the faces, and then auto mirror. Mirror in the Y and Z axis. So we are left with this only these faces, and then randomize around with the seed value. Okay, and the thickness. And then selecting all the faces. Let's see if this works. Uh, extras, fast circle array, and origin. No. Well, it works. So we have, I don't, I have no idea why it worked, but it worked. Why did it work? This is a single object, and you can see this is not supposed to work like that. Every part is like, I don't know. Why did it work like that? It's not supposed to work. Anyway, you know the saying, if it works, don't fix it. So we're not going to fix it. Just selecting the back faces so we could drift out on the amount of faces being used in the scene. They're not going to be seen anyway, so we can just delete them safely. Actually, we need more faces. Okay. Instead, play around with the. Okay, like that. And then hide this so we can play around with the cloth much better. Selecting this part and then this part that we're going to turn into cloth, and then extras utility panel cloth buff, don't use mirror, and object collisions. Okay, and there is gravity, turn the gravity off. Okay, so we have collision with these objects here. Maybe I shouldn't have deleted the back faces. Probably it probably needed it for the collision, but 0.01 and 0.01 hill as well. I think I'm going to reduce the subdivision. Oops, maybe not. So we can just fix this with sculpt. If you're striving for time and you can't really get the exact look of the cloth, then you can just use sculpting to fix some of the areas. Two, and then point one. Nope. Point two. Okay. So going back here, and we're going to go to sculpt, and we're going to use the brush inflate by pressing I. Is it inflate? Yes, it is. Then just fix the areas that you want fixed. Whoops. Um, I once sculpted characters and used only a mouse. Can you imagine that? In Blender, all in Blender. I think the best way to learn sculpting is with Blender, especially with the dentopology. Before you try to transition with ZBrush and learn all its UI and all its features, but with just sculpting, if you want to try out sculpting, and you don't want to mess with all that UI at first and all the other stuff, then you can try Blender and it's the topology. It's really simple and it's really easy to learn. That's how I learned with sculpting with the topology. Okay, so go to object mode and we can just increase the subdivision for the cloth. Or maybe fix this area here. Go tab, go to sculpt again, and press S to the whoops, smooth brush. Just tap that, mildly tap that with the mouse. So with the pen, you go into like tap 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 for a controlled smooth. Okay. So I think this is it, and we're going to add the shaders. So I'm trying. I'm gonna try and speed up because I'm going to get my child from the school. So extras, shading, up in materials, side material, cloth, then hide this. I need to make changes for the straight UVs operator as well. Extras, utility mesh, straight UVs, and make it work with multiple objects. It'll probably crash for oops for higher resolution selections, but I think we can all avoid that. Okay. Why don't I just uh, make this, select everything, then oops, oh, I forgot. It doesn't work with multiple objects yet. Okay, is it separate? Oh, this is the we haven't really detailed this yet, but I don't think we need to. with Shift G area, oops, Shift G perimeter, and Alt S. And then this part, um, straight UV again. And we're going to use the Airflow Panel Soft UV, the Airflow cloth with this part. Okay, I'm going to change the Easter eye and change the scale of the texture. Going to shaders and then right here, point 2 or point 0.5. There we go. Point 0.5 is good. Point 4. If you wish to lessen the effect of the textures, you can do so here, like that, and then we'll just have to adjust the reflection using this color up here. There we go. Okay, so we have our background asset. So with this kind of detail, you can actually just bake this if you have the time to create a bake to object or mesh. Since there's really no extravagant extrusions, and they're mostly just flat with a couple of really high extrusions in this part. So it's not that hard to create a bake to mesh for this, and then you can just bake the detail. Wait, sculpt mode. Let just fix this part. Okay. So yeah, the straight UV, the straight UV. Yeah, the straight UV, and you see here, it has two limits, which means the way it cuts the mesh to form the UV islands, and you have sharp edges here. Be careful with this. It could freeze in high resolution objects. So with UV, it's designed to work with random panels and random loop extrude because the islands are or the boundaries of the islands are not merged, so they're separate. So it works on cutting the boundary edges and forming UV islands based on that. But if you want to use it on your own manually designed, but mostly angular meshes, and it doesn't have the attributes that the random panels or random loop extrude objects have, then you can let me just show you. For example, you have this, then you can just manually UV this, or let me just use Smart UV project, and in the UV map here, These are mostly flat anyways, but let me just show you. If you have a more complicated model like that compared to this, so you need to create the sims from islands, and then only then you can use the straight UVs, and then select the UV limit to create those flat UV islands. Then press OK. There you go. So you can use it that way for your other meshes. And this is besides them being primarily this is besides it being primarily created for randomly extrude and random panels. Okay, so we can again uh, activate the lights by doing that and reducing the scale. The factor affects the number of lights, and then you can just play around with the color. And the offset is the seed value. This is the W parameter in the shader. Okay, so it's almost time to get to get my kid. Okay, okay. Wait. There you go. So just a bit of lighting effect. There we go. So yeah, I'm gonna end this video right here, and uh, I hope you learned something new. Or yeah, if you're new to the add-on, I hope you get a sense of what you can do with it. So that is it for this video, and don't forget the sale tomorrow. And also visit my Patreon for free stuff. You can become a member then there. Yeah, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Thank you for watching, and you have a nice day.